Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 2. Developed by Spike and released in November of 2010, it's known as one of the best modernist Dragon Ball games from the 2010s. I still remember coming home from school, turning on that Xbox, and being introduced to the best animated game opening I've ever seen at that time. Iconic music, cool gameplay, and the game came with a movie. Sure, it wasn't in English for whatever reason, but to me as a kid, I was like, I get a game and a movie? That's so cool. Why don't more games do that? I'm getting off track. Raging Blast 2 is today's topic we'll be deep diving into and reviewing, and I can't wait to talk about this game. Graphics. These look outstanding. Even though this game is almost a decade and a half old, this game's graphics look amazing compared to something like Xenoverse 2 that came out 5 years after it. I have to say, this game ages far better than Xenoverse 2. Everything, the characters, the maps, the auras, the beams, everything looks amazing to this day. However, the things I want to focus on in this category are the stages and the characters. The characters look like they were ripped straight out of the anime. The animations are so fluid, and it makes them feel like their punches and kicks have actual weight to them when they land. Now for the stages, they have a lot of detail in them. The World Tournament stage especially looks good to me, but Kami's Lookout is so beautiful. Being able to look down and somewhat see the planet below is such a nice touch. Then the Outer Space stage, with cities in the distance, the dark vacuum of space surrounding you, and Frieza's ship hovering by every now and then. It's just so amazing what they did to make these stages feel alive, rather than having empty spaces with trees or some buildings to crash into. Amazing job, Raging Blast 2. Sound. The sound is amazing. The sound effects are dead on for what we're used to in the Dragon Ball universe. Though I do like Budokai Tenkaichi 3's music the most, this game does have some pretty good background and fight music to it. Not much else to say about this other than when the songs are good, they are good. The story mode. While most Dragon Ball games up to this point are very linear with their story mode, Raging Blast 2 doesn't exactly have one. It has a really unique and, in my opinion, a really cool way to play the Dragon Ball story. Instead of the natural story mode where it progresses through sagas through the Dragon Ball world, this new mode is called Galaxy Mode. This mode changes the OG story mode for a ton of predetermined fights, each character having their own galaxy that you have to go through to unlock other characters, or unlock other fights with already unlocked fighters. The missions can range from standard one-on-one fights, like we're used to fights that have conditions to them. Some fights are timed, some fights have a massive difficulty increase, and others start you at near death, where you have to fight to little to no health and take down an enemy at full health. Some of these fights also have certain challenges that you need to complete to unlock characters, items that will help you through Galaxy Mode challenges, attacks, art pieces, etc. We'll talk about some of those later, however. Every character averages from around 5 to 10 missions apiece, depending on the character. In total, there are an insane 470 normal fights and 25 team fights. Team fights are where your unlocked characters' galaxies intertwine together to unlock a special battle. Some team missions require you to unlock 2 characters, while others require you to unlock up to 5. Gameplay. There's a few other game modes outside of Galaxy Mode, though I only played the tournament mode. There are a few others like Battle Zones and Online. It's safe to say that the online is dead, so I'm not going to really talk much about it. However, the online mode just lets you battle players over the internet in normal battles, or in a tournament, and it also lets you see your ranking amongst friends. Now, the Battle Zone is a different story. This mode is super difficult. In Battle Zone, you pick an unlocked character and pick a zone. Each zone is different in who you fight, the handicaps that are put on your character, and the stamps you collect. As you go through different zones, it will get much harder, and will have multiple paths for you to choose to take. I tried this mode when I was a kid, and let me tell you, this mode is definitely not for the weak. If you die at any time during this, you don't get to retry. It's gone for good. This mode adds heavy replay value, and for that, I applaud it. Now, the last mode, and my favorite mode, like I said, is the tournament mode. This game has to have the coolest tournament mode in any Dragon Ball game. Like most Dragon Ball games at this time, we had announcing during the battles. However, the more tournaments you fight in, the more commentary you will unlock. This even goes to other characters that are in the tourney. Like if you have Goku somewhere in the bracket, he'll commentate on your fights. This is such an amazing addition to the mode, and an absolute 10 out of 10 game design. Good job, Spike. The fighting. Now, I have to tell you guys, I have an immense bias for Budokai Tenkaichi 3's battle system. I absolutely love that system, but I kind of honestly like this game's battle system just as much as that one. Like I said in the graphics portion of this video, the attacks actually feel like they're doing a ton of damage. The combos are really nice to watch, and not really too difficult to land most of the time. Now, one thing new that this game does have is Raging Soul. This is like an alternate mode of 4 Full Power Mode. In this mode, you can do more combos than normal, as well as have your attack damage increased. The only downside is you can't use super attacks or ultimates. It's straight combo damage from melee attacks. This game is super fun to play, and I can't express it enough. With friends, this game can get pretty chaotic at times, but it never gets old. Customization. Now, I never really liked using these modes when I was a kid in any game, no matter what it was. I used to just play the characters as is. However, when I grew up and revisited this game, I can't get enough of it. The amount of customization is crazy. You can customize attacks, you can customize stats, you can even customize the charging aura. Though this game's customization can be honestly kind of too limiting at times. It only gives you 10 slots of items that you can give to your character, and for some builds that's fine, but on top of that they have a limit point addition to the game, so you can't build the overpowered character you really honestly want to build. Now there are items that can weaken your character that increase your ability limit, but I just don't see the point of it. Maybe they were worried about balance in the online modes or something, or maybe they felt like they didn't want people to build super OP builds that they didn't get a chance to test out when they were in development, like if they did plan on releasing DLC for this game later on down the line. While there are multiple custom builds you can have, I still don't think they should have limited the players as much. This is probably my only gripe about the game. The rest of the game is just so well made that I can't complain about any of it. Overall gameplay. This game captures the Dragon Ball fights perfectly. The stage's destruction is just so good. The ability to tie in clashes and beam struggles, the ability to deflect beam attacks, and the super attacks just look really good. However, the ultimates are on another level. Having those mini cutscenes that are just so well animated, such an amazing improvement from the past Dragon Ball games. A newer modern touch on these, and I think these would be the best super attacks and ultimates that we've ever seen in a Dragon Ball game. The roster. The amount of characters is pretty nice. Having Tarble, Team Cooler, and Android 14 and 15 is a pretty neat addition to the roster. However, I would be a complete idiot if I didn't mention the fact that this game comes with 2 characters that are exclusive to the game. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3 Broly. These characters' additions to the game are awesome. This came so out of left field when I was a kid. When I finally unlocked them, I didn't even know what to think. If, for some reason, they did decide to make a Raging Blast 3, which wouldn't be really much of a surprise since the announcement of Budokai Tenkaichi 4, I would absolutely need more of these type of characters. Now, I didn't know where to put this last bit, so I'm just going to talk about it here. The transformations are really well done, giving Cooler the transformation that he honestly really deserves, and Frieza's his iconic transformations from the anime. This game does these perfectly. You can tell that they really cared for this game and the characters that they were working on, and didn't want any aspect of the characters to be lost in the game development restrictions. Overall, this game is really, really good. I'd say at the time of its release, and even to this day, this is still my number 2 or number 3 favorite Dragon Ball game of all time, and it's really deserving of that title. I'm gonna go ahead and give this game a solid 9 out of 10. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can finally hit that 500 goal, and I'll release the ultimate Budokai Tenkaichi 3 breakdown video. See you all next time, and take care.